I am 31 hours into a 32-hour drive across the United States. A week earlier, I left a job in management consulting in Atlanta, packed up my life, and decided to move to Los Angeles to work in Hollywood. I signed a lease, accepted a job, but had never actually been to LA. I was taking a big risk. I crest this hill, and off in the distance I can finally make out the Hollywood sign. The big, blocky letters sitting in the mountains. God, and for a moment, it feels surreal. Like everything in my life had been building towards this exact moment. And then, seconds later, the car behind me slammed into mine. I got rear-ended. And that became my welcome to the entertainment industry. Big dreams, a messy reality, and change arriving faster than you can process. I was moving to Los Angeles to work at a company called Agbo. It was an entertainment studio founded by the Russo brothers, who directed the Avengers films. And I was entering Hollywood at a chaotic moment. Strikes, streaming, industry consolidation, the rise of the creator economy, and AI colliding with all of it. I spent a lot of time in rooms with artists, technologists, and executives, trying to think about what the future of entertainment might look like. We'd be shooting ideas around like, what if a television show could adapt based on your mood? What if a fan could have a conversation with their favorite celebrity? What if instead of just watching a story, you could step inside it? At the time, these sounded like science fiction, but today, these feel increasingly likely. And the more exciting the ideas became, the more unsettling they got. Because if a machine can generate any performance, any idea, is human creativity still valuable? It's a question that extends beyond just Hollywood, beyond entertainment. It's a question about what kind of world we're all about to enter. I've spent the last 2 years trying to answer that question, and here is what I've come to believe. Human creativity will always be important, because while AI will make content abundant, the things it can't replicate are exactly the things that we need most. But in order to understand where AI takes us, it's important to understand where we've already been. Because technology and entertainment, they've grown up together, and each major shift has followed a pattern. At first, people fear that the new technology will destroy jobs or lower creative quality, but over time, it expands what's possible. New art forms emerge, new jobs emerge, the industry gets bigger. Take computer animation as an example. When Pixar was developing the technology behind Toy Story, people were afraid that human animators would lose their jobs, and they worried, would audiences be able to connect with characters made out of computer code instead of a paintbrush? But what actually happened was the opposite. The technology didn't take away the animators' jobs, it gave them a new language. Stories that had been impossible to tell on the screen suddenly became possible. The animation industry exploded, and Pixar was later acquired by Disney for over $7 billion. You can see that same pattern with sound, with color, with television, with the internet. Fear, disruption, but then expansion for over a century. I think that AI will do the same thing. But there is a key difference. See, the internet brought the cost of sharing content to zero. AI, on the other hand, is bringing the cost of making content to zero. It's compressing the distance between an idea and execution. And when that gap closes, the supply of content will expand at a rate we've never seen. To give you a sense of scale, Hollywood produces roughly 15,000 hours of film and television content in a year. But on YouTube, it's over 300 million. And AI is going to pour gasoline on that fire. But here's the thing, though. Humans, you and I, we only have 24 hours in a day, and we already spend about half of those hours engaging with media of some kind. and that's not increasing. We are entering a world of infinite content competing for finite human attention. So, if content becomes infinite, when machines can make anything, what stays valuable? I think three things do: shared worlds, shared moments, and authentic human perspective. The first thing that stays valuable is shared worlds, the universes and stories that people choose to inhabit together. For most of the last century, entertainment had a fixed shape. A movie was filmed on physical film reels, distributed to thousands of movie theaters, and shown in the same format to everyone. One artist broadcasting to many users. But that shape is breaking apart. Content is becoming fluid. It's becoming more social, more immersive, because now it can. And gaming already points the way. Gaming is the most popular media format among Generation Z. More popular than social media, more popular than film and television. 2/3 of Gen Z actually say they prefer playing video games to watching a movie. Platforms like Roblox, Minecraft, and Fortnite have evolved from games into persistent social worlds. And AI is going to make these worlds far more immersive, as technology will be able to render scenes in real time based on player input, fusing cinematic storytelling with game-like agency. Stories you don't just watch, but actively shape. Audiences become active participants in the story, and the line between artist, audience, between games and films starts to blur. In a world filled with choice, people will naturally gravitate to the universes that are familiar to them, the characters they know, the shared references that make them feel part of something. Intellectual property becomes more valuable, not less. The second thing that stays valuable is shared moments. The experiences that can only happen in a room, in real time, with other people. I grew up doing musical theater, and there is this magical feeling when you're seeing something live that you just can't get anywhere else. You feel like you're watching something that nobody else has seen. You feel connected to a room full of strangers, like you're part of something larger than yourself. Like you and I having this connection right now. The more our lives fill up with infinite digital content, the more that we'll crave these experiences that feel real. And the data already points this out. Live sports are drawing record audiences. Concert tours are breaking ticket sales records year after year. Netflix recently opened physical Netflix houses where you can physically enter the world of Stranger Things, Squid Game, and Bridgerton. And technology is making live entertainment more immersive. The Sphere in Las Vegas is a $2.5 billion, 350-foot tall structure, and it has the world's largest LED screen. And things like this are redefining what live entertainment can even be. In a world where anything can be generated, remixed, personalized, reality itself becomes more valuable. And the third thing that stays valuable is authentic human connection. For most of the last century, gatekeepers controlled the entertainment industry. The studios, labels, networks, agencies, they decided what got made, who could make it, and who got to see it. But their power is getting weaker and weaker. Today, anyone, anywhere in the world can make something beautiful and share it with everyone. And that's never been true before, and it's extraordinary. But it does create a problem. When technical quality is easy to achieve, how does someone stand out? Here's the thing that people misunderstand about AI. AI is not an artist. It's a tool used by artists, a powerful one, but still, it's a tool. And an artist has never been defined by the quality of their paintbrush. They've been defined by knowing what to paint, by having something to say that only they could say. What becomes more valuable in this world is judgment, taste, voice, the quality of an idea, the depth of a story. So, I don't think that AI makes human creativity irrelevant. It actually makes the most human parts of it even more important. Entertainment is more than just a product or an industry. It's how we generate meaning. It shapes how we understand ourselves, understand each other, understand the world. I grew up in the Midwestern United States, in a town called Liberty, Missouri. And as a kid, I felt deeply alone. I didn't really have any friends. I really struggled to do the things that seemed to come natural to everyone else, like how to read a room, how to connect with people, how to belong. And stories gave me a kind of refuge. Movies gave me language for emotions I didn't know how to name. And online games gave me friendships, people who had no idea what I looked like, what my life was like, where I lived. They liked me for me. That mattered. It mattered because entertainment, at its best, doesn't distract us. It helps us feel seen. And it creates the conditions for real human connection. But unfortunately, much of our media environment right now is doing the opposite. We are the most connected generation in all of human history. We have access to more people, more ideas, more art than any human being who has ever lived. And yet we're more lonely, depressed, and anxious than we have ever been. And that's not a coincidence. It is a design problem. For the last 2 decades, the social media platforms shaping what billions of us see and hear have been optimizing for engagement. Not meaning, not connection, engagement. And they got really good at it. Without clear guardrails, AI could potentially accelerate this. It could deepen social isolation as synthetic content and perfectly personalized media replaces the messy work of real human relationships. It can undermine trust as synthetic media becomes indistinguishable from reality. And it can overwhelm us with so much noise that we lose ourselves and we lose each other. But the hopeful part is this. AI will never replace the things that humans need most. The shared worlds that bring people together, the moments that can only be experienced in a room, and the voices that are unmistakably human. So I don't think that AI is a simple story about machines replacing artists. No. If we get this right, infinite content becomes a creative renaissance. More stories from more voices told in more ways, reaching more people than ever before. But if we get it wrong, it becomes an infinity of noise and a deficit of connection. The difference comes down to one question, one worth asking every platform, every business, every decision in this new era. Is this thing bringing people closer together or pushing them further apart? After I sorted out the car accident in Los Angeles that day, the sun was starting to set. I looked back up at the Hollywood sign. And I thought about why I made that drive, why I quit my job. Entertainment helped me feel seen when I was invisible. And it helped me connect with others when I was completely alone. So my ask, especially to the people in this room and the people watching this video who will shape the future of how AI interacts with our lives, is to hold on to that question. When you're in the room making those decisions, think about it. Is this thing bringing people closer together or pushing them further apart?